But yeah, probably. That's usually my critique against everyone. But here we go. Let's start this now. This is Jnvn. It's a loss. He's going to play a little bit of Junkrat, a little bit of Winston. Yeah, let's see what he does. What skill rank is this? What is that? Platinum? I think that's Platinum. Fuey, you'd know. You're around Platinum, right? So...
Actually, that's Silver with wings.
Silver with wings? Alright, so he's a wing silver. Let's see what he does.
I don't think he should have been walking forward there. As soon as this is all in, all popping out, a Russian doll. Just keep coming and coming. Are you muted?
Oh my god, I was fucking muted. God damn it, Fuey. So, alright, let me talk again, because I was muted. I sneezed, so I muted it. So I think all of this part was right. Man, that's fucking ridiculous.
What would you do without me?
I don't know. I would have to look at chat, and they'd be like, the fuck's wrong with this guy? He's not talking at all. But I think all of this was fine. You know, he didn't have any heals, so he gets robbed once, and not only once, he gets robbed twice. But yeah, as he, right here is what you're talking about. So I've been noticing this with a lot of Junkrats. And that is, as soon as they get a target in their sight, they just kind of run at them. Or anything.
Going straight for the Mercy.
Yeah, no, I know, but I mean, like, it's actually going to be any target. I've noticed it a lot. They, essentially because of the inconsistency with Junkrat at range, they feel like they have to run straight at someone. Like, see how there's a Tracer and they'll just start running at them. Even a Genji right there. Like, I get it. You got a good concussive mine off. Watch for that Tracer. That happens. That's a hog. Alright. So, alright, you got a kill. Perfect. There we go. Good. It wasn't a bad attempt. Yeah, and you got your team essentially died, and not much you can do about it. Yep. It wasn't terrible play, but your team wasn't there. I think you try to take the flank. The Genji was there. You may have been able to pressure the Genji once he had his deflect down. You could kind of zone him with concussive mines. The problem is he did take the health pack. So it's going to be... It's going to be tough. That's a tough fight to have. You're looking at the Sombra. Don't look at the Sombra. Don't look at excuses for why you win or lose. Just keep playing.
5, 4, 3.
Mirror, do I get a lot of Junkrat reviews on Lijiang? I guess I do. Lijiang, I think, like, that map he just played is good for Junkrat, but the other... This one is not that good for Junkrat, I would say. I don't mind this. You just got the fuck out of there. That's perfect. So I think this is what a lot of low SR Junkrats have an issue with, are these flanking type heroes.
They get distracted a lot.
They do. And see, he's kind of in open ground. And that's where he gets punished. So this open ground stuff is just death. You gotta get off the middle of this point. So see how there's too many variables all around him? I think this happens with a lot of players. It's not just Junkrats. Okay, good, you died. I was gonna say either just jump on the point and die, or just jump in the ravine. So he's switching off Junkrat. He's doing the old Winston thing. Yeah. So I think I get asked a ton. Is what do you do against Tracers and Genjis? You have to hit your concussive mine. That's all there is to it. Wow, you got destroyed there. Oh, hog ult. That's why. You have to land a concussive mine, and you have to zone them, and you have to use cover to your advantage. If you're caught out in open ground against a Genji or Tracer, my bets are you're going to lose. And I think the whole thing, like you said, Fuey, is chasing the target. Is that, I think low SR players have that issue at first with target priority. They'll chase the closest thing to them, and then they'll kind of get stuck on it. And it actually is it is difficult to understand target priority and when you gotta leave, and when you gotta go.
Isn't that called tunnel visioning?
If you pick on something and then just like follow it until forever, yeah. Tunnel vision is a big deal, and when to let go of that tunnel vision is a big deal. Christ, Hog's got your number. I mean, you're trying to buy space, but it's okay. This is good. So stay on the Mercy now. And while it may feel like you're not doing much here, just having everyone's focus on you after the Genji Tracer are dead is perfect. So far, playing a little bit defensive for Winston right there. You needed to kind of get to the Tracer. Cool. So you're here thinking, see, consistent damage, that's Tracer's biggest weakness. Get your ult. Yeah, it does look like you're a bit confused. Alright, good. Okay, good. You almost didn't get that. I mean, Mercy stayed alive because this is all good.
I think it was risky going for the hog, though.
Eh,
I feel like the McCree was there.
yeah.
That's easier.
I don't know. I think that's a hard choice in my mind. Hog, he can hook you, but that's about it. The McCree, you can get flashbang, and I think lower SR players do have a hard time like constantly meleeing someone and jumping on top of them.
Yeah.
But I think
target prioritization.
Right. That one. Mercy meta. So, okay, again, I would say a little bit of tunnel vision, but I think they had people in and out of your shield, so I don't think there was much she could have done. Yeah, I mean, that's just a tough game. They kind of had your number. The friend insane, hey, McCree. I mean, you could say you're jumping too deep as a Winston, but that's kind of your job. They were, and this is the weakness of Winston, is if you jump in too early, a good team will just jump in the bubble and kill you. That's what they were doing. The Hog, he really liked killing you. Every time you jumped in, he would try to hook you, and then him and the Tracer were destroying you. They were taking you down in seconds. But let's see. Talk about the Junkrat at first. The Junkrat, your accuracy was all right. I think your concussive mine usage was fine. I'm trying to think. It's tough because the second point or the second round. I honestly hate that map as Junkrat. The Gardens, the one where Pharah is so fucking good. It's a bitch. But the first one you played is definitely Junkrat's bread and butter. It's all closed in area. Rarely got on the point, or team really got the point. I will say this with the position again. Avoid mid ground. And stick to cover. Avoid mid-range and open ground. This is, again, Junkrat's biggest weakness. Just the biggest thing you can do to survive more and more and more is just avoid this mid-range and open ground. When you're in the middle of everything, and this is one of the other things I tell people is, with target priority, or just targeting in general, I usually cleave to one side and then turn to the middle. Right, this is kind of like my habit and what I do. And what this does is, as a Junkrat player, usually the sides are enclosed areas, so you have a slight advantage. But more importantly, even as I do this as other classes, and that's because I remove a lot of variables. One, I make a side safe. So like, all right, I made the left side safe. Now safe. From there, I have the time and the space to look at all the variables in play. And then I can make a decision from there. So what most people do is they just jump in the middle, and then they have to look everywhere and understand what's going around them, and it's really confusing. And honestly, you're putting yourself in a tough position. Like, even, I don't want to say, oh, even I in this position would fuck up, but you're making the position really, really difficult for you. You're putting variables all around you, and now you have to make a choice. And usually, odds are, look, you're at a disadvantage. You're going to choose the wrong thing most of the time, or half the time. Yeah, it's very tough to make a decision under those circumstances. So I don't want to get into those circumstances at all. I want things to be as simple as possible. So I cleave to one side, and then I get all the variables. Now, you know what? I'll do X and Y from here because I can see all the variables in front of me. And that's just tactically why I do that. As a Junkrat, mid-range and open ground, you're good as dead against most classes. They can dodge you, they can evade you. It's just you have nothing at mid ground. Nothing in your skill set, in your range of tools as a Junkrat operates at this range effectively. So you're just putting yourself at a very, very big disadvantage. Your concussive mine usage and your trap usage is always trap more and trap up. Whenever you push up, that's when you'll want to trap. I'm trying to think of the first round you actually just never got pushed up. Your team kept on getting crushed. Very rarely were you ahead of them. But I think your traps were fine where they were just because of the situation you were in. Your concussive mine usage I think was fine. Obviously it could be more accurate, but that comes with time. And on that point, I know a lot of... Actually, we just got a question in chat about when Junkrat had one concussive mine, would I use it for mobility or for damage? And honestly, mine was mobility. The problem is that on that map on Lijiang, I forget what it's called, the indoor one, you got no mobility. You got nowhere to go to. You're kind of limited there. So, that one, I would have used it more for damage. Information. I don't think you're doing anything fucked up information-wise. Outside of, like, the mid-range open ground type deal. Yeah. You kept on getting caught at the first round. You kept on getting caught by Hog in the mid ground. He would just hook you and kill you. I think actually the whole round, I think Hog killed you almost every time. He kept on getting a lot of hooks on you, especially when you're Winston. Your accuracy, as always, don't worry about accuracy. Accuracy comes with time. A general rule I have for accuracy is just, as a Junkrat, personally, I shoot at ground more than I shoot at people. I look to deny high traffic areas from a safe distance. I just know where people are going to walk. I know what people are going to do more often than not. So that's what I try to. That's where I try to hit them more than actually seeing a person, seeing where they're going, and then aiming at where they're going. I do that sometimes, but definitely to a lesser extent than actually just crushing area. It's called Center Mall. Okay. Yeah, that one is that round for Junkrat is good, but the Gardens one is tough. As for Winston, I think you went Winston, this is my assumption, because of the Tracer and Genji just giving you a lot of issues. The problem is I think you're doing alright as Winston. You were diving in a little bit deep, or maybe a little bit ahead of your team. And their team was competent enough to just get in the middle of the bubble every time you jumped, and they would hook and just burst you down. I think most of your deaths, if I remember correctly, is just instant. I mean, they were doing 500 points of damage in 2 to 3 seconds. You'd get res by your Mercy, but then your team's down to res, and yada yada yada. It's just expending resources before you can even get to the point. A couple times you did focus down the flankers. You did a good job killing them, and then you kind of jumped on the back lines. You didn't get the Mercy, but that's alright. If you keep 2 people's attention after you killed 2, that's 4 out of 6 people that you've dealt with. The rest of your team can deal with the other 2. Not a big deal. Trying to think. You got anything?
I think the main problem is just tunnel vision. Tunnel vision.
Yeah.
Tunnel vision over not like gauging the situation while jumping in and like.
Yeah, the Winston he was just jumping in, and then he would just find a target. It didn't matter what the target was, but I think he was just sticking on it. Sometimes
there was also a time he had 250 HP, and then he jumped back to his team on the bridge. But his team was behind him, so it made his team be the front line and him the back line.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's something.
I understand he was trying to get healing or whatever, but
Right. He just kind of turned around and jumped to safety, and then yeah,
he's left his entire team with no tank. And he had to walk back,
well,
then Anna had to turn around, and
that's it seems very situational. I mean, I can understand it.
well, I mean, it's the same as being over-aggressive, overly passive.
Yes and no. I mean, if he did stay to be a tank, there's a higher chance he's going to die. And I think I
think it's better for tanks to fight the middle ground versus like Junkrat. When it comes to a tank, I think being up front or in the middle, that's the best.
Oh, right. No, I would agree with you on that. But when you're out of a shield, like when you're out of your damage mitigation tools,
No, he had a shield.
Did he have his shield? I thought I was assuming he was just
Sure, yeah,
leaving because his shield was toast.
Yeah, I think either way.
Yeah, either way, it's very situational. But yes,
Positioning.
tunnel visioning, I think, is again this whole thing helps a lot with tunnel visioning. I guess it's funny that the one way to fix tunnel vision is to like understand at what point you have to let something go. I've showed how to catch a monkey a shit ton of times on stream, and that's the same thing. Tunnel vision is all about tension and you grabbing, like you're trying to grab a resource, and you don't know when to let that go. As soon as you realize you're like, all right, that's out of my power. I can't do anything about that. If I chase them, it's just a waste of my time and resources, and they have the advantage. I'm at the disadvantage. I should not do that. Let me find something else. That's tunnel vision in a nutshell. Is just understanding what's out of your grasp. Yeah, that's it. My one thing, it would be, just the void mid-range and open ground. And I think that just understanding that spacing is a core concept in Overwatch. Understanding short, medium, long range, what to do at all of those ranges with each hero, and how to play that hero against all other heroes at each range. If you can understand that, then I think you're in a really good spot. Probably Grandmaster, honestly, at that level, if you can just do those things properly. So yeah, understanding that as Junkrat will help you understand it as all the other classes. Specifically, like, Junkrat's incredibly good at understanding... I think, actually, Junkrat's one of the best characters to learn spacing with. Just because mid-range is so dangerous, you'll try to avoid it, so you understand mid-range really well. And because you understand mid-range really well, since it's a divider between short and long, you'll be like, oh, well, that's not mid-range, that's long-range, what can I do here? Alright, that's definitely short-range, what can I do here? And stuff like that. Understanding spacing and gating is incredibly fucking important. And we could probably get time